Welcome to Module 4. This is tech training for call calling. This time will be specific to Convoso as the dialer and Circle as messaging tool. Now, in general terms, internet bandwidth affects anybody doing call calling. Why? Think about your internet bandwidth as a highway. The more people is using the internet, less space you have to send and receive information from the internet. So your internet speed is important, but just as important as the internet speed, also how many people is using the internet at the same time will affect the quality of your phone calls. Okay? So make sure your internet speed is good enough and use your bandwidth wisely. That's why we highly recommend for you to change your password at least every 4 to 6 months, because otherwise, I'm pretty sure your neighbors or people around you, they are already taking advantage of your internet. Okay, so internet super important because if your internet is not reliable, if your internet is not strong enough, we're not gonna be able to make it work. Now, we use Zoom as our virtual office. You will join a Zoom meeting. You will be part of a breakout room, and we are going to ask you to remain in Zoom while you're taking calls. Why? Because that's like any other office space where you just open up your mic, your team leader will be there to assist right away. Now, how do you use Zoom while taking calls? Please download the desktop app. Do not use Zoom on the web browser. After you download the app, this is how you leave audio. Because if you're taking calls and your audio is active in Zoom, it's going to affect your conversations because you're going to be listening to the homeowner and you will be listening to what's happening in the breakout room. So, in order for you to be able to take calls without having to listen to what's going on in Zoom, you have to leave audio. This is how you do it. There's a tiny arrow next to the microphone. You have to click on it, and it is going to show you this menu right here. Watch this menu. Now, in this menu, you have to click on Leave Computer Audio. Once you do that, your microphone will look like this. And at the same time, your microphone will disappear from the participants list. When you do that, that means your audio is deactivated and whatever's going on in Zoom won't affect your phone calls. Now, how do you reactivate audio here in Zoom? You see how the icon looks like for your microphone? Click on it. After you click on the audio button, you will see this pop-up message right here. Click on Join with Computer Audio. And that's it. After you do that, your audio will be reactivated, and you will also see that your microphone will show up on the participants list. If your team leader wants to call your attention while you're taking calls, they may ask you to activate your video or activate the sound, depending on the situation. And it is going to look like this. Watch. So that's how you activate and deactivate audio in Zoom while you're taking calls. Now, let me show you how we will onboard you into Circle. Circle, it's our messaging tool. You will be added to a chat and you will be part of your team right off the bat. Now, it's important for you to know that you will only be able to request credentials and get access to our system after you pass the pitch exam. Okay? So after you complete the pitch exam, you will be onboarded into Circle and Convoso, which is our dialer. Talking about Circle specifically, you will receive an email invite that looks like this one right here. Watch. You have to open up the email and you will see a button. Click on the accept invitation button. Once you accepted the invite, you have to create a password. And at the same time, provide the name that you want to display on the messaging app. We highly recommend for you to use your first name and last name. Keep it professional, please. After you create your password, click on accept invitation. You have to go through the security mechanism. Depending on whatever the security mechanism is requesting, please comply and you will get to this form. In this form, all we need is full name, time zone, Pacific Standard Time, language, location, and your position. Any other field, leave it empty. If you don't see any of these fields right here, not a problem. Just click continue, and that's it. You will have access to your group chat. This app works like any other messaging app. Okay? That's it. Super simple. Now let's talk about our dialer, which is Convoso. You will receive an email invite. It's gonna look like this. This is the URL. Please save this URL in your bookmarks, and you guys will have access to this document. For this will be a useful reference when you start taking calls. Now, you will receive an email that looks like this. Convoso password reset. Open up the email, click on the link for you to be able to reset the password, and please create a password. You have to type it and retype it. After you create the password with these characteristics, you have to click on login to agent. Super important. Again, login to agent. Once you're there, please retype your email and password. You will have an option to log in with SSO and your email account. Don't do that. Please retype your email, retype your password, and click on the sign in button. When you sign in, you will only see one campaign. That campaign corresponds to your team. Select it. And then under availability, click on not ready. After you do that, click on login. And this is how after you log in, there's one more step. You have to let the browser connect to your microphone. So once you have this pop-up on the top left corner of your screen, make sure you click on allow while visiting the site. And that's it. You will have access to the dialer. Let's do a quick recap. Again, you get the email, you reset your password. After resetting the password, you go to log into agent, you retype your email, retype your password, and you will see this interface. Select your campaign, select your availability. The first time you log in, or if you reset cache and cookies, you are going to have to grant permission to the dialer to connect to your microphone through the browser. So please click on allow while visiting the site. And again, that's it. You will have access to Convoso, and this is how the main screen looks like. All right. Once you're here, let me show you what you're going to do to start taking calls. But first, take a look at this drop-down menu right here. That's the status drop-down menu. Watch. If you click on that drop-down menu with the statuses, you will have multiple statuses. Available, that's for you to start taking calls. Not ready, that's when you first log in. You will see break, training, meeting. All these auxiliaries are self-explanatory. You will see one for tech issues. If you're experiencing technical difficulties, please use that one. And make sure you don't abuse auxiliaries, please. So the first thing you want to do to start taking calls, you go to available. Once you go to available, you will know that you have a phone call because the leads information will pop up. So you will go from this to this. The homeowner's information will appear on the screen. On the upper part, you will see the contact information. First name, last name, phone number, email, street address, everything. And at the bottom, you will see a section to leave notes. Notes are not mandatory. Only when you have something relevant about the lead, that's when you leave notes. If there is nothing relevant, no need for you to leave notes. Okay? And this is what we were talking about earlier today. Remember Google Maps. Once you get a phone call, you will see how there are two tabs. Click on the script tab. Once you access the script tab, you will see the Google Maps button. Click on it, and it is going to take you to the homeowner's rooftop. Remember, you have to make sure they have good sun exposure, and you also need to check if they already have solar panels or if they don't. Why? Because depending on the market, in some regions, we can do business with homeowners that already have solar panels, and some other states we cannot do business. That's depending on the market you're dialing. Your team leader will give you further information about that. So please write it down, bring it to his or her attention on Monday or Tuesday, and they will give you further context when it comes to people who already own solar panels. So after you're done with your call, this is how you disposition. This wrap up button is pretty much the hang up button. This is how you end the call. You click on it and then you disposition the call. These are your dispositions right here. Now, please be aware that after you hang up the phone, you will not receive another call right away. The way the dialer works, you leave you hang up the phone, you leave the call, you wrap it up, and then you will have enough time to disposition your phone call. You will only get a new call after you disposition the one that you already have. And these are the dispositions right here. Successful transfer in English, successful transfer in Spanish. Prequel, this means that you couldn't pre-qualify the homeowner and you couldn't convey the message about our value proposition or the reason for your phone call. So if you don't get the chance to explain what's the purpose of your call, it's going to be prequel. But let's say that you were able to pre-qualify the homeowner, you were able to explain what was the purpose of your phone call or value proposition, but still you couldn't transfer the call. That will be incomplete transfer, whatever the reason is. If it was a technical difficulty, if it was maybe setters being busy, it usually doesn't happen, but if it ever happens, whatever the situation is, it's an incomplete transfer. And of course, follow-ups. If you have a callback, if you have to follow up on this lead later on, please use follow-up. Alrighty? The rest are self-explanatory, wrong contact information, renter, solar installed, elderly, property type. We don't do business with apartments, condos, multiplex, or mobile homes. You shouldn't be getting many of those because before we upload the data to our dialer, we make sure we remove all these type of properties. Now, if they pay less than $100 a month for power, that'll be low bill. If they have a lot of trees around the house or shedding issues, you use that one. Language barrier Spanish. If you don't speak Spanish, it's okay. Just disposition it as language barrier Spanish. If for some reason you have somebody who don't speak English or Spanish, just leave it as language barrier other. No contact, that's when you have dead air. Every single time you get a phone call, you have to greet the homeowner at least 3 times. After your third attempt, if there's still nothing on the phones, disposition as no contact. Voicemail, self-explanatory, DNC requested. When they ask you to put them on a DNC list, and DNC troll, when they are being mean, when they are being rude, when they're sarcastic, or they're just messing around, disposition as a DNC troll. Alrighty? Now, this is the transfer process. Please pay attention. You first have to click on the transfer button on the top right corner of the screen. After you do that, you will see this pop-up window right here. In this pop-up window, you will have two queues, one for English, one for Spanish. Only click the call button once. If you click it more than once, you will be bringing as many people as you click it onto the phone. So only click the transfer button once, the call button, and you will see how this part of the screen goes from this to this right here at the bottom. Again, you click the transfer button, you will see this pop-up window right here. After you see this pop-up window, click the call button, English or Spanish, depending on the language. And then you will see how this part of the screen goes from this to this. When the screen looks like this at the bottom, that's the sign for you to know that the setter is with you on the phone. When you see that the appointment setter is with you on the phone, that's when you do the handoff. And after doing the handoff, you just click on the leave three-way call button. At that moment, you're no longer part of the call. They will continue with the conversation. And all you have to do is leave notes if needed and disposition your call. You will disposition it as English or Spanish, depending on the language of the transfer. You have to leave the conversation once you make sure the homeowner and the appointment setter are talking to each other. Why? Because you want to make sure it's an actual transfer, it's a real transfer. Please avoid throwing whatever at the wall to see what sticks. Make sure you have control over the conversations and do a smooth handoff. Now, for callbacks, you have to click on the folder icon on the top left corner of the screen, and you will see this section right here. This. In here, you have to type the lead's phone number, and after you do that, it's going to look like this. You will see you will be able to fetch the record, and you will be able to click on it. Once you click on it, it's going to open up on your screen, and and you will see a phone icon next to the phone number. Click on it, and you will be calling back that lead. That's how you do callbacks. But please make sure you switch yourself to callback status so that way you don't get any incoming calls. Alrighty? Incoming calls meaning the dialer connecting you with a call because remember, we're doing outbound dialing. And quick parenthesis, you will also be receiving inbound calls from homeowners calling us back. We place hundreds of calls per minute. Some of these homeowners are unable to pick up the phone, they see your phone number on their caller ID and they call back. You will get those type of phone calls. Please ask your team leader for further context when it comes to incoming calls. Going back to the dialer SOP, let's go over settings. You have to click on your email on the top right corner of the screen and click on audio settings. Once you click on audio settings, this pop-up window will appear. Now here, please make sure you have the correct device selected as output device, which is your uh, earphones, your headset. And please make sure that you have the correct device selected as your input device, which is your microphone. And that's pretty much it. Super simple, very friendly, self-explanatory. Again, you guys will have access to these materials. Have it handy because you will find it useful once you start taking calls. And this is the last part of the training material. Guys, girls, please familiarize with all this information. It'll be important for your onboarding process on Monday or Tuesday. Again, I want to thank you for your time and attention. We wish you success on the phones, and we'll see you during onboarding. Have a good one.